There's a common saying in the medical field: when you hear hooves, think horse, not zebra. Hey guys, Spooky here, and first off, I want to welcome any new viewers. This isn't my normal type of content. I make Let's Play videos here in my little corner of the internet. But this month honors something deeply impactful in my life, and I would be remiss if I didn't use my platform to bring awareness to this lesser known and sorely misunderstood illness. As you may or may not already know, the month of May is Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome Awareness Month. You may see something new on my model, a zebra-striped ribbon. This ribbon is the symbol of EDS awareness, and I'll explain why at the end of this video. So first of all, what is EDS? Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a group of 13 inherited or genetic connective tissue disorders. This means that there are many different forms of EDS which can present with various symptoms and characteristics, though there are some common threads between all of them. The type I have is called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This is the most common type and the only type which we do not have the genetic marker identified for, meaning that testing and diagnosis comes down to specific symptom matching and ruling out all other possible causes. Because of this, it often takes years, sometimes decades, before someone receives the proper diagnosis. Despite having been born with this condition, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 24 years old, even though some symptoms have been present since childhood. And unfortunately, it is very common to be misdiagnosed with other conditions before your doctors are able to figure out the true cause of your suffering. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is not something that most doctors seem to be familiar with, at least in my experience. It's often written off as anxiety, somatic symptoms, hysteria, or other frankly insulting diagnoses that have nothing to do with the actual experience of the person with EDS. This is a large part of what all advocates hope to change by spreading awareness of this uncommon and poorly understood illness. So, how does EDS actually affect the body? Well, first and foremost, it's a problem with the body's production of collagen. Essentially, the body has faulty code for collagen, and therefore all of the collagen in the body is produced in a defective state. When you hear collagen, you may think of skin, hair, and maybe tendons. But actually, collagen is located in many systems throughout the body, including many organs such as the heart, stomach, and lungs, as well as bones, muscles, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, veins, intestines, and much more. This means that a person with EDS may experience an incredibly wide range of symptoms that can affect any number of these systems. Some of the most common presentations of EDS are joint laxity or hypermobility, skin hyperextensibility, meaning stretchy skin essentially, fatigue, and tissue fragility. Joint laxity means that our joints aren't held as steadily in place as they are in a healthy person's body. This can cause a range of issues, including subluxations or partial dislocations, full dislocations, propensity to sprains and joint injury, and chronic pain. It doesn't end there for most people with EDS, though. It is unfortunately very common for those with EDS to be diagnosed with multiple other chronic conditions, especially POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome, and ME/CFS, myalgic encephalomyelitis or chronic fatigue syndrome. Due to the cascade of symptoms caused by EDS and these other comorbid conditions, EDS is often disabling and severely limits one's quality of life. Some people with EDS may be unable to work. Some may need to use a wheelchair, a cane, crutches, or other mobility aids. Some may wear body wraps or braces on multiple joints. And some may need none of these things, but that doesn't mean that they're suffering any less. EDS is a dynamic disability as well as an invisible illness. Dynamic meaning that symptoms may not be consistent from one day or week to the next. This can show up in many different ways. For example, someone with EDS may have a wheelchair but not need to use it every single day, but on their bad days they simply cannot get around without it. EDS being an invisible illness means that you generally cannot tell that someone has this condition just from looking at them. This can make our struggles much worse, as we're met with frequent judgments from doctors and even friends and family who simply do not understand the nature of our illness or illnesses. This is another reason why I find it so important to raise awareness. I'm glad that you stuck around this long and were so willing to listen and learn about this condition. I hope that this video helps spread knowledge and awareness of this illness. There's a saying in the medical field: when you hear hooves, think horse, not zebra. This is why our awareness ribbon has zebra print. We are those patients who are often misunderstood, misdiagnosed, or turned away by doctors. This month, I challenge you to think differently about disability and to remember that you may not even know if someone you're talking to struggles with something like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.